Okay, my dear Greg Saunders.
Gregory.
Eagle looking great. Your go.
And we're rolling, Gregory.
Greg Saunders.
Wow. Hey, great.
Show us the skills that have made you a media darling.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Welcome, 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 welcome to the Saturday Morning Stateline Show. You know, Tom, when you pick up a quarter off the ground, you're actually making $450 an hour for that 2 seconds it takes to do that. My name's Greg. He's Tom. It's the 7th day of October, the year 2023, the latest it has ever been
in the history of mankind.
And you made it. Congratulations. Happy Saturday. How you been this week?
I'm going to go to the mall and look for quarters. That's some good work if you can get it.
It's really good work if you can get it. It's really good.
You know, a funny story. I won't deviate too much here, but my mom and dad were playing a practical joke on me years ago. We went to one baseball park that my brother used to play. They had stands. It was either Roy Gale or Marinelli Field. I don't know. But Marinelli, before it became Marinelli, it was Black Hawk Park.
Okay.
And they said, we're going to go and we're going to look for change that people drop out of their pockets. And they kept going, oh, here's another quarter. Oh, here's $1. And I'm like, oh my God, we're getting rich. I'm like 10 years old. I was a pretty dumb 10-year-old, you know?
Well, they made you feel good for a day. Like you were like,
no, they made me feel stupid.
Oh, really?
And then I found out it was a joke.
Well, I hope it was well-intentioned.
No, I don't think it was. I think they were
going to make fun of you.
I don't know. No, it wasn't. It's fine. It probably was well-intended.
Look at you. You picked up a couple of bucks in just a couple of minutes.
Oh, I didn't find anything. They found it all because they were putting it there and picking it up or just acting like they picked it up. Well, I don't know.
Let's see if our big number has anything to do with money today. I don't know. Big number. Our last race to 10 ended with a Joann victory last week, so we need to start all over again. Let me see if this allows me to do this on the fly. I have not tried this before with Restream. If I do this and do that and click save, it updates and goes to 0-0. Look at that, just like that. All right, our big number of the week this week, it's not so big. You might not be impressed, but you'll see it is a big number. 6,001 is the big number this week.
Wow.
The answer is Berlin or baseball, and we'll give you the answer by the end of the show. Berlin or baseball. What does 6,001 have to do with it? And go ahead, do a Google search. You won't find it. You will not find it. It's still a 50-50 shot. I'm telling you. Google Berlin baseball 6,001.
Not doing a Google search. I just sent it in to you right there, baby, right there.
All right. So your answer's coming in. We're starting all over again, fresh, 0-0. And Joann's going to get herself a meal. That's the deal. All right. So we have an awesome guest coming up here in just a few minutes. Lisa ENTRIKIN is the CEO of our Rock River Valley Blood Center, which serves all kinds of hospitals in the State Line area. And we'll learn about her and how you can save lives. Every 8 weeks, you can save lives. Like literally, no joke, without even a doctor degree.
You can do it once a month if you phorease.
You can do it once a month, which I did try for a while, and it was.
Well, I did it. I used to do it once a month. I was up to probably 400 donations, and then I've been working 3 jobs for the last couple of years, and I've just not been able to do it. Plus the fact that my veins are very hard to find, so they wanted me to take a little bit of a break, and I did, and it's been a long break, so I need to get back to it.
Get back to at least whole blood. Good morning, Kurt. Good morning, Michael. Thanks for tuning in this morning. Good to see you guys on the chat. Got some shout outs for you this morning. Last week, Saturday, I think I talked about this maybe on the show just a little bit. My 35th class reunion took place.
Man, you're old.
I'm old. 35 years, a class of 88. Muskego High School Warriors, class of 88. We met at a place called Maddie's Bar and Grill, which is a really, really cool place in New Berlin. One of the coolest backyard situations that I've ever seen. He's got like AstroTurf down and an awesome stage and a container a restaurant in the back and a couple of different bar locations. There was 3 big parties going on, plus the band and their groupies. So there, there's probably, I don't know, 1,000 people back there, 800 to 1,000 people back there. It's crazy. There was our 35th anniversary. There was I think it was a 48th or 50th anniversary class reunion going on, and then a 60th birthday party.
Dang.
There was 2 tent areas, and then the Kingfish band, which is really good. Kingfish is known around the Milwaukee area, was playing, and a bunch of their groupies had their lanyards on with Kingfish on their lanyards. They were like VIPs for the night too. And anyway, it was really cool.
Those parties sound like they were intense.
Boom, boom. I can't.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here all morning.
So shout out to Matt Anderson. His place up there in New Berlin is awesome. GTTN had a great meeting this last Wednesday. The Growing Together Through Networking. Our guest from last week's show, Tammy English from Nick's Wish, was on as our speaker at GTTN last week. And just a reminder, the October 14th event, 1 week from today, the Nick's Home Run event is at Rivet Stadium, and they could still use some volunteers. So if you can help out, they need course volunteers, people who can make sure people are running in the right direction and the right place. You don't have to do anything more than just stand in one spot for a couple hours saying, yep, you're going the right direction. Now turn left. Here you go. They could still use some volunteer help out there. So if you can volunteer, Nicholas Ritchell Foundation or just nickswish.org, and you'll find that out there. Got some happy dogs.
Yeah.
So kudos to Tammy for being on the show last week and filling us in all of that. Was at the McGuanaco Public Library this last Wednesday night to see my dad's semi-famous band, the Garbage Pickers, perform. We've talked about the Garbage Pickers before.
At the library, was anybody going, shh, you're too loud.
They have a really, really nice community room there at the McGuanaco Public Library. And we had a bunch of people in there to listen to their fun brand of kind of bluegrass, acoustic, country, rock. They do a bunch of different things with mandolins and guitars and percussion instruments. Basically, their shtick is they have a garbage can full of stuff that they say they picked out of the garbage from McGuanaco the day before, right? And it's hats and props and things. And every time they pull another prop out, it triggers a memory of a song, so they play the song. And
did they do Proud Mary?
They didn't do Proud Mary. They did do a polka medley I was very impressed with. It was Roll Out the Barrel with like 3 or 4 other polkas mixed in. Very fun.
Cool.
And the thing that, my dad is what, 75? 75, 76. He's going to be 76 here. So I knew he played harmonica. I didn't realize just how much and how good he played harmonica. I know back in the day when I was a kid, he'd play every once in a while just for fun, but he played a lot of harmonica in this show. So Dad, kudos. Terry Saunders, harmonica player, Garbage Pickers. Make him famous.
Book them now.
Book them now. That's right. They're hard to book because
maybe they can do your 40th class reunion.
There we go. I don't think my classmates would appreciate that very much.
Maybe not.
But they do a lot of retirement centers and stuff like that. So and they do a fun Christmas show as well. So kudos to the Garbage Pickers and their show this last week.
Did you get any musical talent from your dad? Do you play anything?
I played trumpet all through middle school and high school and a year in college. Yeah. I tried saxophone first because my grandpa played saxophone. I thought I wanted to be a sax player. And I was like, it didn't really jive with me for some reason. But trumpet clicked. It worked just fine. So enjoyed
There's a lot of sax and violins in music today. So trumpet is your better option.
I wish I would have taken guitar lessons as a kid. And maybe at some point I'll still have the patience to sit down and take guitar lessons someday. I can play 4 chords or, sing you a sad country song, but that's about it. And then finally, shout out to Christian Life Schools. They had their homecoming game last night. Unfortunately, Orangeville came to town and the Broncos busted up the Eagles pretty bad. But it was a nice night for football last night. And they're celebrating 50 years of Christian Life Schools. So the 50th anniversary of Christian Life Schools is this year. And great turnout. A lot of alumni and past teachers came back. They honored a bunch of their teachers last night on the track. They did this Eagle Award, which last year they gave to Mike Johnson, who just passed away here a couple of months ago.
Golf coach.
Yes, great golfer.
Yeah, we had him on. Not we, you and I, but oh gosh,
You and
Riley and Scott, I believe, had him on.
Yeah,
a number of times.
He was men's city champ a couple times back in the day, and so great guy there. And then last night they honored Jeff Patera and Gene and the Freiheits, Jan and Jeannie Freiheits.
Yeah,
because they've been serving there for years, and then Duke Doucette, who's been there for like 40 plus years. These teachers that have served so well at Christian Life School, so kudos to them last night. So there's all my shout outs for the week. We've got a guest to get to, Tom. What do you say?
Alrighty.
Lisa is with the Rock River Valley Blood Center, and you've been there for how long now, Lisa?
21 years.
21 years.
Long time, yes.
Good for you. Well, before you started
I love your shirt.
Yeah, well, it's backwards, but it's my Got Blood shirt.
That was one of my favorites. That's an old one.
Yeah, it is. Just like me.
Just like him.
Yeah.
Now, you probably started at the Blood Center when you were a teenager, but did you have a job previously to the Blood Center that you want to talk about, or any shout outs or anything like that?
Well, so that's how I got interested. So I started donating blood in high school, just like most people, to get out of class. East High graduate. So, that's when I started. And I worked at Pioneer Life Insurance right out of college. And if you grew up in Rockford, most people worked at either Amcor Bank or Pioneer Life at one point. And I actually organized our blood drives at Pioneer. And so after I moved out of Rockford briefly, lived in Milwaukee after I got married, and I applied to the Blood Center in Milwaukee because I wanted to be a donor recruiter. That's what I wanted to do, working with the recruiter that we had here at the Blood Center. And they did not hire me for that. They did hire me at the Blood Center in Milwaukee, but not for that. So spent 7 years there. I actually lived in East Troy, so I know Mukwonago and Muskego and all those areas.
You had coworkers or friends that went to Muskego High School.
Yeah, and so then moved back to Rockford for my husband's job, and reached out to Heidi Onabaney, who she was the recruiter when I was the chairperson at Pioneer, and they just happened to have a job opening here in Rockford. So I was able to come down, and been here a long time, and I love it.
Awesome. Well, cool. So you're an East grad.
I am, and my husband's about to have his 40-year reunion next month.
All right. Go ERABs.
Yes.
Woof, woof, woof. So, yep.
Okay, Lisa, you got to ask, what does ERAB stand for?
I know my kids asked me that. So I have a senior at Guilford, and they were making fun of the pretzels name and then ERABs, and they were like, what does it stand for? East, Red, and Black.
Very good.
Yep.
Yeah, you better know that one.
I better, yes.
I went to Jefferson. Real quick story. I went to Jefferson, and we were East was our big rival, and it was Friday night. It was homecoming, and one of our mascot, a Jayhawk, comes out onto the gym floor. The whole place is going nuts, and we're like, "What is an ERAB? Does anybody know what an ERAB is?" And he pulls out this weird-looking bird or something, and it was ceramic. He throws it, crashes to the floor, and everybody went nuts. Obviously it wasn't an ERAB, but it was, nobody knew what an ERAB was. We were just making fun with it. So
homecoming shenanigans.
I apologize. 30-something, 40-something
no,
years
that's
later.
Okay. I know it was hard for me when my kids went to Guilford to put the blue on, so I understand.
It's funny when you get those high school rivalries, and it's like, because my nieces and my nephew all go to Mukwonago, And it's like McGuanaco Muskego is a big rivalry right now because Muskego's won a couple state championships, and then last year the McGuanaco knocked them off to go to state. So it's like, oh, who do you cheer for? Well, I'm a Muskego Warrior. Sorry, kids, I'm cheering for Muskego.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we're good news when it comes to donating blood. We want people to donate wherever they donate, but obviously the great place here in Rockford for years has been the Rock River Valley Blood Center, and you guys have a long history of donating here, being in service to the region. Fill us in a little bit on what the history is and just what is available to people in the Rockford and the Rock River region.
Right. So we we just celebrated our 70th anniversary. So we've been around a long time. Started here in 1952. We were founded by OSF St. Anthony and Swedish American Hospital and the Winnebago County Medical Society. So they saw a need, put the blood center together. Rockford Memorial came on a few years later, and we are the sole supplier of blood and blood products to 14 hospitals in 9 counties. So there is no substitute for blood. And I'm very happy to know that you two are blood donors. So many people aren't. Less than 3% of the population in our area donates blood, and that's really sad. We serve a population of 500,000 people, and we only have 16,000 active blood donors. So certainly not enough. If the 16,000 that we had just gave twice a year, we would never have a blood shortage. But most people only give once, and most don't give at all.
Yeah. I know.
Wow.
Basically, my story is I know my dad gave a lot over the years, and then when I got married, my wife did, and I was not much of a blood donor early in my adult life, and I just didn't really think much about it at all. But when my wife had some health issues where she couldn't donate, I was like, that's a problem. I better take her place. I kind of basically took her place when she could no longer donate, is basically what happened. And now I'm 70, I think 9 or so donations or 80 donations in, and got my 3. What is it now? I forget what the gallon was. I got
3 gallon probably.
Actually, it was more. I was thinking it was 8 gallons.
You're getting near 10 if you are in the 70s. Good for you.
I got some gift the last time I donated, and I was like, oh, that's nice. That's cool that you do that. But I was thinking it was like 3 or 4. No, it's like, you're getting near the 10-gallon mark here, Greg. I'm like, oh, cool. One of the things, every 8 weeks you can donate. It's very simple to do. Thankfully, we have a couple of convenient locations in Rockford with the Perryville spot, and then downtown off of 6th Street there, which the new building is really, really nice, very comfortable, easy to get in and out of. And it doesn't take that long. I mean, if you're in a hurry, you can fill out that form online before you get there, and then you're not even waiting that long to get into a chair.
Right.
So I usually forget to do that. Every so often I remember to do it online, but you can do it when you get there too. And if you do it when you get there, you're still in and out in about an hour, 50 to 50 minutes or so.
Exactly.
And then I think some people would be surprised to hear you say 14 hospitals in 9 counties. That's a wide range.
It is. And if you think about it, if something were to happen, whether it's a car accident or like you said, when your wife had health issues, people undergoing cancer treatments need blood. People in emergency situations need blood. There's all sorts of reasons. And if it's not available, I mean, can you imagine being in an emergency situation and the doctors coming out to tell the family that your loved one needs blood, but unfortunately the blood bank doesn't have it, and we're going to have to wait. And it truly can be a dire situation. Type O negative is the universal donor, and it can be given to anyone, but it only happens in 8% of the population. Very low percentage, but it can go to everyone. So it is the one that is transfused in emergency situations when they haven't had time to type the patient yet. And there are days when we open up in the morning and we have no O negative on our shelves, and we're waiting to put in from what we collected the day before after it's tested and processed. But it can be very frightening for us as an organization to know that these hospitals are looking to us to ensure that they have what they need for patients, and we want to make sure it's there.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking here on the screen here of the map that shows the locations where you can give during the next month. Some of these are mobile locations, like the vein drain going on in Rochelle here at the end of the month. All of these red dots, I think, are dots where the bus is going out to places. Stillman Valley Fire Department, up to Edwards Apple Orchard, and a couple of places around Rockford, Christ Lutheran Church in Belvedere, and then of course the locations, the two locations at Rockford, the one in Belvedere, the one out in Freeport, where people can donate. And you prefer people to make appointments, but they can just walk in, right?
Absolutely. We're not going to turn anyone away. And I was so excited to hear Tom say that he was a platelet donor, because that is another option for donations. Platelets only have a 5 to 7 day shelf life. So once you donate it, it needs to be transfused in 5 to 7 days, or it can't be used anymore. So managing an inventory that outdates that quickly is very difficult. Platelets do take longer, but we treat you really nice, don't we, Tom? You get to watch TV.
Oh, absolutely.
You get to watch a movie. Yes. The staff are super nice, and you get a blanket if you're cold, and you just get to relax.
You get to meet Pam.
Yes.
Pam is awesome.
Pam is awesome in the canteen after when you're done. But platelet donation is, like Tom said, you could do it more frequently than whole blood, because we're just taking your platelets. Sometimes we'll take a red cells, sometimes we'll take plasma with it. But with a platelet donation, with whole blood, you would need 6 to 10 whole blood donors to equal one platelet donation, the platelets from a whole blood donation. And when Tom was donating platelets, he would give enough in one sitting to be given to a patient. And those are better for patients, because if you think about it, you're exposing a patient to only one donor as opposed to 6 to 10.
My pheresis story was one of where I tried it for about a year, and I think of the 5 or 6 donations, like maybe 4 of them were successful. I had a couple of weird ones with my veins where my blood pressure just didn't work with the machines very well or something.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's not for everybody, but if you can do it, it's awesome.
Like you said, I enjoyed my time there during it, because you just sit back and chill. They'll bring you a beverage. You can just kind of sit and watch a movie, and it was, if you have a couple hours, it's great. I mean, of course, it takes your brain's got to be right for that. So
yeah, drink a lot of water, drink a lot of liquid before you go, and it will pop up those veins. I particularly have a tough vein over here. It's tough, but the 2-hour thing is right. Bring a book, bring a pair of headsets. Sometimes I'll bring a pair of radio headsets and just listen to the radio. Yeah. Or sometimes I'll watch TV.
Yep.
Lisa, quick question for you. I hope I don't put you on the spot with this, but a lot of people in the community, they do these telechrist places, and I think they are under the false impression that goes to help people. Indirectly, it does, because they use it for testing. It does not get transfused into people. What would you say to people who think they're doing good works, and it's fine. I'm not coming down on them. That's fine. Some of them do it as a part-time job because you get paid for it, which just kills me, because it takes away from donations from what we're doing here or you're doing. And what would you say to them to maybe encourage them, maybe as a teaching tool, like, no, it's not quite what you think, without, I don't want to bash them by any means. They serve a purpose, but.
Well, yeah, you're right. So, and I think in the last 5 years, we now have 4 plasma centers in the area, and it has really impacted our donations, especially our pheresis donations, our platelet donors, and our plasma donors. So when you donate at a plasma center, you are helping patients, but it is not directly transfused. Those donations are made into pharmaceutical products. So they're made into drugs that are used to help patients, but direct transfusion is only from volunteer blood donors. And what the FDA says is from a paid donation to a non-paid donation is with volunteers, you do not want to do anything to incentivize them to make them not tell the truth during their donation, so that the gift is going to be so great that they might lie on either the health questionnaire or something like that. So we're not incentivizing you. The incentive is how you feel afterwards. And you should feel great about yourself. I mean, what other way can you spend an hour of your time and truly impact somebody else's life? And if you ever know anyone that needed blood, you don't even think about it. Like I said, my mom is an O negative, so she can only get blood from O neg donors. And I'm very excited to say both my boys are O negative, and my husband and I should have had more children because we breed O negs. We had like 10 of them, but we didn't. But they can donate, and it can be given to anybody. And my mom's received probably 10 transfusions in the last 5 years. She is very bad anemia, and when she gets a blood transfusion, she feels better immediately. It's so fast. And if we didn't have that blood, then she couldn't get it and she wouldn't feel better.
It's not, again, it's not such a huge investment of time to go down for, like I say, about an hour and get things done. And every 8 weeks or so, at 8 weeks or more, you can go down. Everyone, we need blood like Sunday needs football. I like that banner.
Yeah, I like that too. Think of it this way. You can give blood every 56 days for whole blood. 1 hour out of 56 days.
Yeah.
Pretty small chunk.
Yeah.
And even if you're phoresing, it's 2 hours out of 1 month. Pretty sure you can handle what is that? That's 24 hours a year.
Right.
24 hours a year. I think we can handle that.
So for those who can't donate for whatever medical reason that they're unable to, is there other volunteer opportunities at the blood center that they can partake in?
Yeah, so there's a couple things. So we strongly encourage people, if you can't donate, is to help organize a blood drive, whether it's at your business, your church, community groups. We go into all the high schools, all sorts of businesses. We'll bring the bus to you. Like you said, we just got a new bus. But there's also volunteer opportunities just to get somebody to replace you if you can't donate. We strongly encourage people to come in with friends and family. So much more fun to give with a group. We have a lot of groups that come in, 4 or 5 people at a time, and they do it on a regular basis. Like Tom says, every 8 weeks, they'll come in 4 or 5 people, and then they go out to dinner after, they go do something. So they truly make it an event.
That is so cool. All right. So when you're doing high schools, you're somewhat limited because you have to be 18, correct?
No. So 17
you don't. Okay, good.
is the age that you have to be in the state of Illinois and Wisconsin, 16 with parental consent.
Good.
So, yep, you can
That
start
was what I was
donating
going
blood
for.
when you're
I was
16.
going to say with parental consent.
Nice.
Okay,
Nice.
that is awesome.
And you're right about
But
the group thing. Was it earlier this year? It was like beginning of this year. I have a very uncomfortable story to share. This is fun. So I go in during the police firefighter challenge. Okay. And I think I've been in there like the last 3 years during the police firefighter challenge. And we worked with somebody at the radio station who became a firefighter. And so the last 3 times I've always put my vote in for the firefighters. I walk in this year, and who's there but the chief of police and like a SWAT team of folks.
Oh, you came on SWAT day. Yes.
Yes. So it was one of those days where I had made an appointment.
Did they surround you?
But let's be careful how we word this. But I walk in, and because they had walked in, I made an appointment. They had walked in, but they were taking up all the chairs. So I had to wait a little bit longer than normal, which is fine. I had the time, no big deal. So I'm talking with the chief and a couple of her folks there. And of course they end up asking me who I voted for this time. And I'm like, well, I'm not going to lie to you guys. And I told him the whole story of, working with a coworker who became a firefighter. And the last few times I've been voted for the firefighters, but now after meeting these fine people, I'll be definitely voting for the police next time. She goes, she's like,
Oh,
it's a
you
good
big
thing you
suck
said
up.
that. I would hate to
Wow.
have to find a reason to arrest you today.
Yeah, Chief Red is very competitive.
Yes, she is.
Yeah, she's going to ask you to vote for them. I'm surprised she didn't have people in the center every day asking.
It was great though. And it is
That's
a
funny.
fun
That's a
thing to
great
do.
story.
And it was fun that I was glad to show up on the day that a bunch of them showed up, because these were not your typical like street officers. These were like the like a SWAT. It was like SWAT day.
Yeah.
And if I understood correctly, I tried to ask some questions and I didn't quite get, straight answers, but some of these guys were like undercover type people who were like, you don't want to know what I do. You don't want to know the people I mess with. And I'm like, thank you for doing what you do, so I don't have to,
Yeah, thank you for your service. Absolutely.
Absolutely. All right. So if someone has the time and can just carve out an hour, go down to the blood center, pick one of the locations that are in the buildings, just go there. If your group's doing something special at a blood drive and you've got a bus, find out if you can participate, and hopefully you can. Hopefully you're able and healthy enough to donate. Is there anything else that we didn't ask you about today, Lisa, that you want to make sure we mention on the show today?
Just so many people think they're not eligible to give blood, whether they're taking a medication or I still hear people say, well, I got a tattoo. Those aren't deferrals. So myself, I take medication for high blood pressure. That does not defer you from donating blood. As long as your blood pressure is controlled on the day of donation, we do a mini physical. We take your temperature, take your blood pressure. We check your hemoglobin level to make sure that it's high enough to allow for a blood donation. But it's not medication that defers you. It's typically why you're taking it. And yes, I see the chat. Yes, you can donate if you have diabetes. That is not a deferral. It's as long as you're feeling well and healthy on the day of donation, you can give. But so many people self-defer. They just think they're not eligible. So I would say if you do have a question, call and ask, or just come down. Super simple to do. We ask you a ton of questions beforehand. I think there's like 47 of them. You get asked the same questions every time. And it's to make sure that you're healthy enough to give blood. And it's also to ensure that your blood is safe to give to a patient. And that's the ultimate thing. You have to remember there's a patient on the other end. These are real people who need it. And there is no substitute. And I hear all the time, I don't like needles. Well, who does? Who does? And patients don't like needles either. And believe me, they're being poked all the time. So it's a wonderful thing to do. So fast. The whole blood donation itself takes 8 to 10 minutes. Super fast. So
yeah. Even though I've said many times as I have, when it comes down to needle time, I'm usually looking away.
Sure. I'm a 14-gallon donor, Greg. I don't look. I can watch it go into somebody else. I don't watch it go into myself. But yeah.
And it's seriously, it is 1 second of little poke, and sometimes I don't even feel it. Some of the folks just they've got the trick. They just know what to do to make it so that you don't even feel it. It's like, oh, it's already in. Oh, okay, just all right, you can start squeezing now. Here's
right. And our staff are amazing. We have so much longevity here. Many of our phlebotomists have been here 20 plus years, so they're good at it. They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
LaShawn, Lakeisha, and all the other, see Pam every time just about. So yeah, they're wonderful folks.
Melissa or Mo.
Absolutely. So awesome. Well, I really appreciate you spending time with us this morning, and I sure hope we add a few blood donors to the ranks here, and we see donations go up a little bit, because we don't want to have a blood shortage. That is not something we want to have to experience, especially when we have a loved one in need, but also when just our neighbors and coworkers and folks that we bump into around town have a need. We'd like to know that they're being able to be taken care of.
Lisa, before you go, Carlos Danger is asking if he can donate if he has diabetes. I can answer this one. Absolutely, you can. Because I've been a diabetic for 20 years, 19 years.
Yeah, awesome. I appreciate your time so much. Thank you for having me and getting our message out there. It's so important. I hope people come in and try it.
Absolutely. All right. Thank you so much, Lisa. Have a great rest of the weekend.
You too.
Have a
That
good,
was Lisa
have a good
Entrikin,
day.
the
Thank you.
CEO of the Rock River Valley Blood Center. Check out the website. We got the link in the chat, rrvbc.org. All kinds of information on there. And you can, like I said, you can pre-fill out the questionnaire before going in and save yourself about 5 minutes or 10 minutes. It usually, once you've taken that questionnaire once, you kind of know what most of the questions are. They rarely change them too much. So every so often they'll throw a new one in there that you're like, oh, I got to stop and think for that for a second. But you having taken that thing so many times now, it's like, okay, yep, nope. Oh, yeah, that's a yes. Nope. It doesn't take too long to rifle through the questions, and then into the chair you go, and off to the donations you go. Good morning, Joann.
Good morning.
We have
Good
down
morning.
at the PAWS Humane Society this morning. How's your week?
PAWS
Was
HQ.
fine.
Awesome. Good to hear. Got a
The
bunch
week
of
was exciting. Carolyn's birthday tomorrow and the Rockford Regatta on Sunday. which
yes.
My other granddaughter is rowing in.
It's regatta weekend. In fact, we're going to put that on our randoms for this week. I've got some stuff to share when it comes to that. And by the way,
Weekend for the Pentecost Blowert family.
yes. It's time for some SMS info, folks, brought to you unofficially by AltruWise. It's the app that enables volunteers to track, verify, and maintain their own community service data for a lifetime. AltruWise, tell a better story, live a better life. Get the app in the App Store, wherever you find your fine apps. Let's go ahead and bring up the Go Rockford page real quick to show folks what's happening around Rockford this weekend. Of course, North End City Market does their thing for 2 more weeks, this Saturday and next Saturday, then they're done for the season. North End City Market, corner of North Main and Auburn Streets. Fruits and veggies and flowers and honey and baked goods, all kinds of good stuff for 2 more weeks. Autumn at the Arboretum, at Clem Arboretum, is taking place this weekend, 9 till 4 today and tomorrow. Free admission. Wide variety of educational programs and activities. Today it's apple talk and tasting with Valley Orchard from 10 to 11:30. Got a fall bulb fundraiser going on as well. And tomorrow, family fun day from 10 to 2. Pizza, crafts, games, all kinds of fun stuff tomorrow. And today at the Clem Arboretum on South Main Street in Rockford. The fall art scene is taking place today from 4 till 9. Art Scene, a biannual gallery walk with new and established artists of the Rockford region. Bunch of different locations. Free to walk around downtown and check that out. Look up the Rockford Arts Area Arts Council for info on that.
Oh, I love that Rockford Art Scene logo. That was the old
right.
Jerry's Hamburgers
Good use
logo.
of that. Fall More Sale.
That was
Women's
that
Space
was cool.
over there on Maria Linden Drive has their event today from 9 till 5. Explore and purchase a variety of items at this event for Women's Space. Gently used books, audiobooks, DVDs, CDs, video games, puzzles, games, arts, craft supplies. Today from 3 to 5, they do their fill a bag sale. Fill a paper grocery bag for just $5. Anything that won't fit in the bag, half price. It's all got to go, folks. It's all got to go. And that's at 3333 Maria Linden Drive in Rockford. Atwood Center Birds of Prey. I talk about this, it seems like every week, because it's fun. Take your kids to see the birds that are gross. They're just gross. They feed the birds at 1 o'clock, and it's something gross. Your kids will love it. Atwood Center on New Milford School Road in Rockford. Every Saturday from 10 to 2. Yeah, they feed the birds at 1 o'clock. Head of the Rock Regatta, as Joann was just saying, is tomorrow from 8 to 4. It's going to be a chilly regatta, Joann. There's going to be some chilly rowers out there. A rowing crew plays host to the Head of the Rock Regatta every October. draws more than 2,000 rowers from across the country, more than 5,000 spectators along the banks of the Rock River. I remember the one year I went down there when I was surprised at how many college teams came out for this. And it's way bigger than I thought. The Ski Bronx provides safety boats. And we had a friend yesterday post a video doing a warm-up thing down the river, and a goose. She hit a goose. I should say a goose hit her. She didn't hit the goose. The goose hit her. Like, what are you? And she was videotaping it at the same time too. Chelsea, who works for the R1 downtown. So anyway, good luck to her and all the rowers at the head of the Rock Regatta tomorrow. And then finally, from the GoRockford.com website, 6th annual Trunk or Treat at Tinker Swiss is going on tomorrow, October 8th, Sunday, 1 to 3, absolutely free. Tinker Swiss Cottage, their annual free Trunk or Treat event. Visitors also have the opportunity to visit the main floor of the cottage, which is staged for a Victorian funeral. Live music will be taking place. That won't be dead. And there's food trucks, vendors, farmers market stuff going on. That's tomorrow, 1 to 3 at the Tinker Swiss Cottage Museum and Garden. So
that'd be great if they could get a knockoff of the Grateful Dead to play.
Some Grateful Dead tunes. Want to give a shout out. I'm going to put this in the chat too. Prelude to Life, local filmmaker, is debuting a film which the trailer really caught my attention. It's called Prelude to Life. There's a film premiere on October 21st. And oh gosh, where did this go? Let's see if I can do this right here. There's a bunch of local talent in this movie, and when I saw the trailer for this looks like it's a Hollywood movie. They really did a great job with this film, and it's all right here in Rockford with local talent. Want to give Yash credit here for this. Yash Musabji. This is going to be at the RPL Nordlof Center, and you can get your tickets with that link that I put in the chat here today. Lights, camera, Rockford, get ready to be captivated. An extraordinary evening, a highly anticipated visual album. They're calling it a visual album. Prelude to Life. And life is spelled L1F3. Find out what that means, I guess. So anyway, event kicks off at 6. And 7:30, special musical guest. 8 p.m., the premiere begins. Very, very cool. Looking forward to checking that out. NBC said Sunday's Chiefs-Jets game attended by Taylor Swift averaged 27 million viewers. Most watched Sunday night game since February's Super Bowl.
Wow.
This whole Taylor Swift thing. Are they going to break up before the season's over?
I don't know. I'm figuring a year from now, she's going to have a #1 hit song called Goodbye Travis. I'm taking bets on that one.
Yeah. I'm curious to see if they even make it through half of the season, let alone the whole season. I just don't know.
You know, they're real close in age, within weeks. He's like a couple of weeks older than her. They're both 33 years old. Well, as a matter of fact, her birthday is December 13th, born in 1989. And Travis Kelce, I want to say his birthday just came up. I think it's September. I think he's a couple of months older than her.
Celebrity relationships rarely succeed, but then again, they're just dating. Or, it's not like they're.
Oh, yeah, no, it's not like they're right, moving in together or anything like that. But who knows? They'll give it a good run probably. Maybe Taylor Swift is at the point where she's running out of material to write songs about. She's just going to stick with this guy now. Who knows? I don't know. I'm the optimist. I think it'll.
By the way, not that you didn't notice this already, but I'm wearing the Bring Joy hat, which was a gift from Nick's Wish folks. Tammy gave this to me and gave one to Tom as well. Just to remind everybody.
Yes, I should go grab mine.
Be sure to wear it next Saturday for sure.
I will. It's on my banister. I worked it a little bit. It's a little rigid right now. I just kind of wanted to
Brand new and
work it in a
sparkling
little
clean. The
bit.
12th annual Knicks home run is 1 week from today, Rockford Rivet Stadium. The auction opens today. So there's like 300 different auction items, including one that my wife donated. She makes those t-shirt
I'll be
quilts.
right back.
All right, you go grab it.
I'll be right back.
And there's all these different items on there for auction that they've raised thousands and thousands of dollars. They've paid for so many wishes by having this auction every year. And it's ran by Nick's Grammy, who my wife got to talk to on the phone this week. She's sweet.
There we are.
All right. There we go. Bring joy, everybody. Bring joy.
There we go.
I
What
don't
is
have a hat.
Rib
Don't have a hat.
Yaj.
But you bring joy every week.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
mine's
Gotta
backwards.
flip that camera. Hey, if you're a fan of
Stand on my
Shrek,
head.
the movie or the musical, you can now spend the night in Shrek's swamp in Scotland. Airbnb announced the Ogre's Scotland home is open for booking starting October 13th.
Who's sleeping in my
property
bed?
Can accommodate up to 3 guests. It's complete with an outhouse, which is located about 22 yards away from the room.
Oh jeez.
Yeah, look at Airbnb if you want to live, spend a night.
Do you get toilet paper, or do you
Probably a
have to use like a
leaf.
leaf or something?
Okay. It's October.
No, someone else wanted a hat too.
It's Go to the
Carlos
event.
Danger wants a hat. You got to give blood first, Carlos.
The
Then we'll
hat
give
has
you a hat.
nothing to do with
You
blood
promised. We
draw-
saw it.
Blood. That's
I
a
bet-
different.
I bet you'll get one if you go volunteer at the Nick's Wish event next Saturday.
That's
There's a sign that reads "probably haunted" at a house that's for sale in Massachusetts. The asking price for the Turgeon Funeral Home in Millsbury, Massachusetts, is $769,000. Holy cow! It was built as a single-family home in 1850. It's operated as a funeral home since 1948. 3 bedrooms, 2 kitchens. There's an attic and a basement.
And
a morgue.
one more.
It's the-
Can you imagine, honey? Can you run downstairs and get me something off the shelf in the basement? You mean where the dead bodies used to be kept? No, I wouldn't go near that. You could give the house to me, and I wouldn't touch it.
Turgeon. Turgeon Funeral Home in Millsbury, Massachusetts, in case you want to look it up. Other stories that did not make the big number of the week story this week. Macy's is planning to open 30 new stores in the next 2 years, but this time they're going to be in strip malls. They're going to try the smaller format stores in suburban shopping centers rather than shopping malls to see if they can up their business. Obviously, shopping mall shopping has been way down these last few years, especially since COVID, but even before that. Macy's going to try a new tactic. They're going to try the strip mall stores and see if they can drum up some business that way. Speaking of business doing better, guess who surpassed KFC as the number 2 U.S. chicken chain restaurant rankings this year? It can only be Popeyes. Chick-fil-A still number 1. KFC losing some footing in the U.S. Market share is down to about 11.3% in the last year. There's nothing wrong with KFC chicken. They haven't changed the recipe.
The food is phenomenal. The price is outrageous, and the service isn't that great. There you go. Sorry, KFC. I love KFC, but there are a lot of times when it's like, oh my God, we got to feed the grandkids, and a couple of us, four of us total. Going to be $32, really? I think we're just going to go with.
Here's a crispy, crunchy
I
chicken.
think
from
one
Walmart.
thing too that hurts them is so many grocery stores sell fried chicken. I mean, you can get.
Oh yeah,
all of the grocery stores mostly sell fried
Pop into the
chicken.
deli.
And while you're getting your groceries, you pick up the deli chicken and either rotisserie or fried.
And granted, it's not as good, but it's also a lot cheaper. And I think people are going for. Oh,
It
exactly.
really depends
Yeah.
where you get it.
You're right.
I think I talked about my experience with Popeyes here on the show, that the drive-through just took way too long. I had a very bad
I've had
experience
that
with
experience
a
before.
drive-through at Popeyes, and I'm like, no, not going to do that again. I worked at KFC for like a year when I was a kid, and I was a chicken cook at KFC in Hales Corners, Wisconsin, and I enjoyed that. It was good. I ate the food I cooked. That's what. Yeah.
No, there you go. There you go. As long as you didn't take a bite out of a chicken leg and then put it in a box.
Our secret thing, we had these chicken little patty things for a while at KFC, and that I forget what they called them. Were they just chicken littles? Anyway, we made sandwiches out of them with honey, and they were awesome. And that wasn't on the menu. We saw on the news, I think during training camp, during preseason, Simone Biles wearing a Packers jersey. Her husband or fiance was on the team. I don't think that he made the team. I can't remember the guy's name. Defensive back, I think, for the Packers, who might be on the practice squad. But Simone Biles, anyway, was at Lambeau wearing a Packers jersey. She's back to training. She's back to competing again. So I guess some good news here for those who are fans of the gymnastics, of the sport there. Simone Biles has become the most decorated woman ever in the sport, leading the U.S. women's team to its record-setting 7th consecutive world championship win recently. She has a combined total of 33 world championship and Olympic medals. 33. The previous record holder was Soviet gymnast Larissa Latnina. Biles returning to competition after 2 years. She suffered something they called the twisties at the Tokyo Olympics. I don't know if do you remember this?
I do remember it, where she it was like an
Something
equilibrium
where she just
thing,
couldn't,
right?
There's a call it a fear factor. Call it something. She just couldn't bring herself to run down and do the vaults. Maybe it was another person that got injured, or maybe she had a slight injury that she didn't want to aggravate, but something just clicked in the brain where she's like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. And she couldn't finish the competition at the Tokyo Olympics. And everyone was kind of like, but it did on the plus side, it did draw a lot of attention to mental health awareness. And here she is now overcoming that issue and back to competing again, which is really, really cool.
Jonathan Owens.
Okay.
And they
awesome.
are married.
Thanks for looking that up. Did he make the practice squad?
Yeah. I don't see it. Okay, hold on. Who is Jonathan Owens? Green Bay Packers. Yeah. Current team. He's number 34. He's a safety. So apparently he's on the team. And I do remember an Owens. When I watch a Packer game, I see a lot of players. I'm like, wow. You and I were kind of talking about this earlier without getting into any Packer talk here. But they have a lot of new faces every single year, and they're good players. But you get a good player and you groom them and you this and that. And as soon as their contract comes up, oh, sorry, got to cut you loose. We got another guy coming up. You don't win championships that way. You have to maintain a core team. It's going to cost you some money. So I hope Brian Gutekunst is listening to me.
Well,
to us.
It's one of those things where you have to have the established veteran to lead the younger guys and kind of show the way. And if your veterans aren't that type of personality, it's tough.
Well, they didn't win a Super Bowl until Reggie White came along and took over that team. And you already had Brett Favre on the other side, and you had Santana Dotson. I mean, I can name 10 or 12 of those Packers that were just iconic names in Green Bay. And then they did it again in 2010, a very young Aaron Rodgers. But you had Greg Jennings. You had older players that had been around for 5, 7, 10 years. Mason Crosby. Not Mason Crosby. He was fairly new at the time. But anyway.
Got to have that mix. And right now the Packers are the youngest, fastest, and tallest NFC team.
Yeah, well, I want them to be the winningest. That's the only one that matters.
Okay, we're running out of time. The last thing I was going to ask you guys, if you had any boring but useful superpowers, I don't know. I don't remember what this brought up this week, but I caught my attention. What is your boring but useful superpower? For example, mine is I can fold fitted sheets nearly perfectly. I'm a really good fitted sheet folder. I know not everybody can do that.
Wow.
A mechanic says he can stick his fingers in the tread of your tire and accurately tell you your remaining tread depth. He's like a human micrometer.
Wow. I can recite my ABCs backwards, and I can recite all 46 presidents.
I've heard you do the ABCs backwards.
You want to hear them?
I know you.
ZYXWVUTSRQPONNLKGIHGFEDCVA.
Are you the master of untangling things? My wife is like the master of picking out the exact right size storage container for leftovers. She always nails it with the container size.
But,
I'm really good at Tetris-like things.
So
that you're bringing up a sore spot, Joanne. For years in our house, I didn't do anything with that stuff because I was like, it's the kitchen's yours, son. But finally, I was asked to find lids for something, and they were spread out all over. I'm like, that's it, no more. I'm in charge now of the lids. They're going all in one place. I don't care where the other container is. I want to know where all the lids are, all in one place. I'll match them up later.
Containers are easy to find, but lids, and you grab one. It's like, does that work? No, that's how about that one? No.
I guess you could call them Tupperware or whatever they are. I've already put a container in a Ziploc bag because I couldn't.
Yeah,
we've done that. But to heck with it, I'm putting it as a zip. So the container was in a Ziploc bag, which kind of.
You've got one of those gallon Ziploc bags handy. Just like, just put that in there. Zip it up. Safe.
That's right. And as soon as you throw out that container, you'll find the lid.
I know. All right, Joanne, I think that's everything from the SMS info. You sent me a pet of the week.
What? Did I send you a pet of the week? Not yet.
You sent me something else, but
Wi-Fi was down.
But it's back up now.
It came up again.
Awesome.
I think sometimes I'm sending you love notes.
Thank you. Love you too, Joanne. You're awesome. Well, what do you have for a pet of the week this week? Let's focus on your pet of the week. How about that?
Well, I haven't even thought past that. Did you want to tour or you?
Well, during your tour, maybe you can pick out which our pet of the week is going to be, and we can chat about them a little bit.
Yeah. Again, I need to, tomorrow's my granddaughter's birthday. She's going to be 5 years old.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear.
The party if you're wearing pink.
And my Carolyn is 2 weeks from today.
Thanks.
October 21st.
815-299-PAWS is the number to call for all things PAWS Humane Society.
There it goes.
Check out their website at pawshs.org. Joanne's doing her thing, and we are putting her on the big screen. Boom. Thank you, volunteers.
Working hard.
Here, kitty. Oh, I want to set up shop in the what do you call that again? The community room. Yeah, I want to lay down a mattress, lie there on there, and have 12 cats crawl all over me.
One of these weeks, Tom, you should just go ahead and do the show with Joanne at the
Adonis. Yeah,
I should,
and just sit in the community room the whole time and see how many cats.
I have a picture of me surrounded by these paper plates, and I was feeding cats. I'll have to look for it. Feeding cats in the community room.
It doesn't look comfortable right there, but man, it's a fluffy cat.
She's gonna get down to give you a closer look.
Oh my God!
You're not cute.
Oh my God, that is just a beautiful cat. Wow, what kind of cat is that, Joanne?
One of those coon cats. Look at that hair.
It could be a Maine Coon because they're kind of built like that.
Wow.
I'm sorry. That's kind of like what we say when people are buying fabric at the clothes store. And they say, "What are you going to make?" And they say, "A quilt."
A quilt.
A quilt.
Yeah, or when you're changing a tire and someone comes up and says, "What you doing?"
Yeah,
Oh, I'm reading a book. It's quite interesting.
Sometimes that's deserved. Sometimes that's.
It's called 5 Lug Nuts.
Well, and I think there was something about collecting fabric. I quilt, but my main hobby is collecting fabric.
Let's see here.
So did you pick out a cat of the week? I like this one. Oh, these guys.
I
Yeah,
like the Maine
I
Coon
don't
one.
think there's 4 cats in here.
Oh,
Wow.
So I forget. I think her name was Shadow. I'll have to go back and check on it. Yeah, someone confirmed it. It was Shadow. So
hello,
I'll go
Chet.
back and take a picture of Shadow. I had a cat like that. My first cat as an adult. Nobody in here, so we're looking at nothing. So
Well, last week you had Adonis.
yes, that was the big Siamese.
Yeah, we just saw
And
him.
Adonis is still there.
Yes. Didn't you remember seeing him?
Yeah, he was one of the first ones. She
So
said it,
Adonis
Greg. I don't
there
think you heard
came in
it.
as a stray, about 2 years old. Last week's pet of the week right there. We'll post a new one after the show today. So there'll be another one you can share and spread
Yeah,
the love.
I don't know. My thing is just a little slow.
Woo. Awesome. Well, again, all things PAWS, very, very easy to get a hold of them. 815-299-7297.
We will have some dogs at the shelter this afternoon. So if you want to come, if you're interested in adopting a dog, I think there's 2 or 3. There's a beautiful white, I forget what, if she's a Great Pyrenees.
Okay.
Those are herding dogs, I think. But of course, they can, I don't know, they could herd your kids around.
It can be
I
trained.
don't know how happy they are in a home setting. Some of those dogs are very active.
Right.
I heard they're
But
good dogs.
they could, I forget what her name is, Misty. But
Right.
if you want to look, always check out the Facebook website too. Facebook page. I'm sorry, I'm talking
Yes.
silly.
pawshs.org and the Facebook page. Find out what's going on. All right, let's do this. Big number of the week time. We have a brand new start because Joann won last week's our last race to 10. Joann was the victor. So we're back to 0-0.
We're tied again.
We're back. And
We are
this week,
tied.
To zilch.
big number of the week this week. It's not so big, but it's big enough. 6,001 is the big number. Our answer, Berlin or baseball. Berlin or baseball. Tom has sent me his guess. Joann, what is your guess? Berlin or baseball? 3, 2, 1, go.
Berlin.
You're going to go with Berlin. Guess what Tom did? He also went with Berlin. The modern.
Trying to guess opposite, Tom.
Yep. Nope. You're either getting a point or not getting a point this week. The modern cell phone turns 40 years old this month. The modern cell phone was introduced October 13th in Chicago, and it was demonstrated with a phone call to Alexander Graham Bell's grandson in Berlin, Germany. The 1983 phone's price, guess how much it cost?
I'm hoping $6,001.
$3,995. In 1990, there was just over 5 million people in the country with cell phones. By the year 2000, that number was nearly 110 million. Today, 97% of Americans have cell phones or smartphones. And it's a huge industry. The answer is baseball. Sorry, guys, no points for you. Carlos, you guessed Berlin earlier. You changed your guess.
Yes, he did. I was going to call him out on that. So sorry buddy.
And
here's the story. If a 1-0 baseball game just isn't your thing, how would you like a baseball game with the final score of 468 to 307? That was the final score. Last week's charity game in Missouri that lasted 6,001 minutes, 100 hours and 1 minute.
Wow.
60 players, 42 umpires toggled between the diamond and an adjacent campsite for 5 days to complete the feats of the world's longest baseball game. 468 to 307.
And Charlie Brown. Getting at that.
Swung and missed to end the game. Struck out by the little red girl.
And a little red-haired girl. His love interest.
What? That's a Byron type of score. Yeah, you're not wrong, Carlos. That's the way Byron is playing football this year. That's. There was talk on WROK this week about the most yardage passed and high scores in high school football over the last 50 years or whatever. And there's a lot of 70, 80, 82 to 10 games and goofy stuff like that, and 600, 700 yard passing games. Crazy stuff. Crazy stuff out there. Anyway, well, no score. Sorry, we're gonna keep this thing at 0-0 for one more.
Only 10 more points to go.
No,
it's
like you didn't even play the game. Want to thank Lisa ENTRIKIN from the Rock River Valley Blood Center for joining us today. Give blood as if his life, as her life, as your friend's life depends on it, because it can. The Rock River Valley Blood Center, such a great place, such a well-organized facility and folks and organization. And I go for the camaraderie and the peanut butter cookies and the apple juice. And the blue slushies now. Blue slushies are my new favorite. I love me those blue slushies.
Really?
Good stuff.
They're pretty good.
Very, very good stuff. All right. And that's it, I guess. That's everything. We covered the whole show.
All right, Gregors, are we sticking around doing
You got a couple minutes.
Talk?
Okay, so we're going to talk a little Packers. In the meantime, remember, you change the world when you help one person, so be a blessing to someone this week. And Joann, have an awesome week. We'll catch up with you next week.
See you at the regatta.
All right, and anybody who wants to hear me rant, stick around. I got one thing to rant about before we start football talk. Bye, Joann. Have a good one.
Joann. All right, the Green Bay Packers.
Let me rant first.
Okay.
Let me get this out of the way. Okay. I spend a lot of time at the Goodwills and Salvation Armies, whatever. The reason I do that is I'm a tutor with the Boys and Girls Clubs. And I also have grandkids. So I'm always looking for puzzles and books and, teddy bears and everything else. I buy puzzles because it's great exercise for the kids, the grandkids, whatever. Great exercise for them. And I love puzzles. Every once in a while, sorry, I got to change out of this. It's a little uncomfortable today. Okay. There we are. A little better. I buy the puzzles because they're very good little activities. Every once in a while, I'll find a puzzle with 2 missing pieces. Yesterday, we had one with 2 missing pieces. And I was so irritated by it. It's not the world's worst thing. Look, starving kids in Ethiopia, okay, fine, I get it. So it's not a real big deal. But if you're donating something to the Salvation Army, to Goodwill, whatever, don't do it. If your radio doesn't work, throw it away. If your flashlight doesn't work, throw it away. If your puzzle doesn't have enough pieces, throw it away. If you donate a crossword book and there's only 8 crosswords doable on it, throw it away. Nobody wants your junk. I get it. You're trying to do the right thing. Think about it. Get rid of it if it doesn't work, because nobody wants to buy that stuff, because it's the disappointment that happens when you buy it. And I bought a flashlight that didn't work. I bought it, and you can't test it. You don't have batteries. You can't test it. but you doggone well know the reason you are getting rid of it is because it doesn't work.
There we go.
So
There's your rant.
That's it. That's my rant.
Okay.
I feel much
All
better
right.
now.
I can appreciate that. All right. So the Packers are well, playing against the Raiders on Monday Night Football.
It's Monday Night Football. It's Allegiance Day. It's national stage. They're going to want to look good. This game scares me a little bit, only because I was a little surprised by how poorly they looked in the Detroit game.
Yeah.
I was surprised that Detroit manhandled both sides of the ball. That was what concerned me the most. Jordan Love is the real deal. After 4 games, he's the real deal. I don't think there's any question about that. The guy can spy. He can come up to the line. You can watch him do this. He's got a lot of Aaron Rodgers in him. He can figure out what's going on. He knows how to get away from a blitzing linebacker. But you know what? You can only get away for so long. He only had like 2.3 seconds to make a decision. He had very little time. That line has to be better. Now, if you don't have the horses on the line, that's fine. You improvise. You figure out a different way to get Aaron Rodgers or Aaron Jones open in space. You said it earlier.
Yeah.
Get him open in space. Right through. Quick hitter, 3 yards, 4 yards, and boom. He's got, because that's his forte, is his running ability.
Healthy enough? That's a big question.
Yeah, that's another issue too, and he's a little frail. And I really think they should have went after Jonathan Taylor.
Sounds like they went after him
But
again
hindsight's
here after the
2020.
season started. They're bringing him in for a workout or something, but ever since that was mentioned, nothing else has come of it. So I don't.
Yeah. Anyway, I really think Green Bay is going to do well. Christian Watson's back. Romeo Doubs had a really good game the other day. Christian Watson should have a good game. I fear that Devontae Adams is going to want to show up playing his old team. Jimmy Garoppolo is a really good quarterback. I think this could be a fairly high-scoring game. But if Green Bay's defense, here's the key. If Green Bay's defense can hold their own and not give up much more than 17 to 20 points, I think Green Bay wins this game 30 to 20. That's what I think, 30 to 20. It's my but the game does scare me a little bit in that it's like the Detroit game. I thought Green Bay was going to win the game because it was in Green Bay. I thought they were going to win the game. I don't remember what I predicted, but I thought it was going to be like 23-16. Maybe I really thought it was going to be much more of a defensive struggle. Yeah. And Detroit just walked right all over them.
And now we know that Bakhtiari is out for the rest of the season for sure because he had surgery. There's no more question mark about him. So there's that. And hopefully that makes the offensive line guys step it up.
Yeah.
Because we definitely need more protection. There's the run game. Is A.J. Dillon going to show up this year? We need him.
I don't know what's going on with that. I don't. But here's the thing. If you open a hole for A.J. Dillon, that second, third step, he's gone. Boom. And that's what's happening. The holes aren't open for him. No. So it really still does come down to the line. Now, think about it this way. The Aiden Hutchinson for Detroit, he's a superstar. He is a bona fide superstar. I believe Aiden Hutchinson will be the sack leader if he lasts 15 years in the NFL. And there's no reason he wouldn't unless he's got some injuries. But Las Vegas has an equally good defensive lineman called Max Crosby. This guy's really, really good. He's really, really good. But he's about 7 or 8 years in the league. He may be slowing down a bit. They have to neutralize him like they had to with Aiden Hutchinson, and they couldn't. This is only Hutchinson's second year. The kid's like 24 years old, and he's Adonis. I mean, this guy is an absolute beast.
Yeah.
You know? And so he's better. He's better than Max Crosby. So I think if we can neutralize Max Crosby, open up a couple lines, A.J. Dillon finds his running routes. If that happens, if you establish the run, now you can do play action and you can pass. Jordan Love is good enough to find the open receiver. He is good enough to do that. Those receivers are good enough to get open. What have they not had the last few years? Ever since, the year Devontae left, they didn't have a deep threat.
No.
They did not have a deep threat. Christian Watson wasn't, because he didn't really show up until the 7th or 8th game. By that time, some damage was done. The damage to the psyche of the team, because Aaron Rodgers was such a whiner. Oh, I'm not going to throw him if you can't catch.
He had a busted thumb too.
Yeah, well, he had a busted thumb. Yeah, but I'm talking about before his busted thumb. He busted it in the New York Giants game, which was game 4 last year. They were 3-1 going into that game. 3-1. They were okay. And then he busted his thumb. And I think you're right. That's actually what it was. It was the busted thumb. But it was the fact that they didn't have a deep threat. And you look back at their schedule outside of the, was it the Minnesota game when they absolutely got destroyed early on? That was a horrible game. It was opening game of the season 2 years in a row. New Orleans the year before, Minnesota last year. Now, this year they looked really good against the Bears. But anyway, I'm rambling. I'm all over the place here. The point being is, I think they're going to be okay because now they have a deep threat, Christian Watson. They have a Romeo Doubs kind of reminds me of a Randall Cobb type of player, where he's kind of a good safety valve, and you can catch him going over the middle, and if you can hit him, he's gone. He'll score a touchdown. I mean, I'm
Dobbs and
okay with
Reed
the Packers
are
right
looking
now.
good. So I feel good about our receivers still. I wonder how good the defenses are going to show up on Monday nights. Monday nights are always quirky. There's just always something weird that happens on a Monday night game, it seems. If this was a normal game, I'd be like, maybe 23-21. They pull off a win at the end with a field goal. But there's probably going to be more scoring than that. It's probably going to be, more like 33-27 type of a game. So
Yeah, as long as we're on the W side, I'm good.
Yeah. Here's hoping we don't have to endure another sad, sorry blowout like we did against.
Well, okay, so here's my fear. And 2 weeks ago, the Bears were 0-3. Not this week, but last week they were 0-3. And the Packers were 2-1, and going up against Detroit with a chance to go 3-1. The Bears could lose and go 0-4. Oh my God, what a great separation. Now you've got a 2-2 Green Bay team that could be 2-3. And next week the Bears could win and go 2-3. It to me, it's like, wow, how did that happen? And it's not really that big of a deal. I'm just starting off. It's all just football talk. I don't really care. I'm not going to lose any sleep if the Packers lose and the Bears win. I don't care.
No. Hey,
I just enjoy it.
Before we wrap up, want to show this real quick. I was talking about the auction now being open for Nick's Wish. Grammy's online auction. You don't have to attend the event to bid on the auction items. And there are so many things on this thing. Enter your phone or email to get started. And I'm going to scroll by this. Look at all these items real time.
Yeah, you really did scroll.
There's all this stuff, and I'm scrolling because down here.
Oh, it's going to have something to do with the Packers.
Item number 388. The memory quilt. This is what my wife makes.
Oh, okay.
She makes these quilts. So the winner of this item will get a quilt made out of their t-shirt. So the buyer of the quilt provides the shirts that they want to be made into a quilt.
Oh.
And then my wife cuts them into the proper sizes and makes them, puts them on a fleece.
So Christy's going to do that.
She's donated this to Nick's Wish for this.
Nice. I love it.
So that's way down. That's item number 388.
Wow.
There's nearly 400 items in this auction right now. So you don't have to attend to help Nick's Wish. You can bid on all this stuff, and there's so many things. There's even a Bears thing. That's right.
The Bears.
The Bears. YMCA. Fred VanVleet.
Basketball.
On basketball right there.
Nice.
So all kinds of stuff on here. I'll go ahead and put this in the chat real quick before we wrap up, so it makes it even easier for people to see. There we go. So check out Nick's Wish online auction this week. And as we like to say in the silent auction world, if I up my bid, will you up yours? All right. Let's remember. Sorry. I'm just wrong. I'm just bad. That's it, dude. Let's do a show next week. And I have no idea. I don't have a guest yet booked for next week's show. So next week could be variety week.
Okay.
We'll see. But bring joy.
Yes, bring joy. Oh,
All right, my man. Talk to you next week.
bring.
Bring.
How do I do this? There we are. I don't know.
Gotta flip that camera,
I gotta
man.
figure I know. I'm
All right.
not very technically savvy.
All right. Have a good one, everybody. Thank you for watching.
30-27, Carlos Danger says, but Packers by 3. 30-27. Okay. All right.